Good evening, Super Metroid fans. That's right. We're back at it again with more round 2 action in the Super Metroid Multi-Category Tournament 2020. Tonight's matchup will be between TGDerp and Cynan in the Any Percent All Bosses category. The runners have readied up and the race is ready to begin. And as it does, I'd like to remind you, be sure to check the schedule for round 3 action starting tomorrow. As this tournament slowly approaches the halfway point of its Swiss rounds. We thank you for joining us here. There's another race going on over at the main SpeedGaming channel between Fruit Bed Salad and Zoast. I'm told that they're also running Any Percent All Bosses. It's been a very popular pick here in this round 2 action. And the racers are off. They will begin on Sirius Station as usual. When you come down that elevator into Sirius and you see everything bathed in blue light, you just think back to Eiffel 65. You think, I'm blue, dabba-dee dabba-die. But these runners don't have time for dated references. They have a lot of ground to cover in this race. Many, many bosses to fight. In fact, they have to fight all of them. But fortunately, this canned Ridley fight doesn't count. All our runners have to do is damage themselves down to 24 energy, get that alarm beep beeping, and Ridley will fly away and Sirius will start to explode. Runners making their way during the Sirius escape now, trying to avoid the steam, looking out for those magnet stairs. I don't know why a scientist would want a stairway made of magnets. It sounds like a terrible idea. Both runners into the climb now, making their wall jumps. Oh, looks like Cynan had a little bit of trouble with the steam. Derp getting off of Sirius first, but that's all right. Cynan not far behind. And our runners will skillfully pilot their spacecraft down to the surface of the planet Zebes. I hear Zebes is lovely this time of year. It's spring here in the northern hemisphere, but on Zebes, it's just according to the instruction manual, it's permanently raining acid rain. At least that's what I remember reading. Any of you are welcome to dig up your Super Metroid instruction manuals to proof call me on that statement, if you can find them. So our runners making their way down the parlor into the reverse climb, aka the fall. Derp going with Moonfall technique, as does Cynan, uncapping their fall speed, breaking the laws of Super Metroid physics, and passing harmlessly through that final platform just above the door. Couple of good elevators from our runners here. Perfect execution with that angle button. And Derp the first to pick up the first major item of the game, the morphing ball. It's not a ball that morphs on its own, but it allows Samus to morph into a ball. And once Samus is in ball form, she'll be able to fit nicely into one-tile gaps, just like this one, as our runners make their way through the construction zone to grab the first minor item pickup, the missile pack. Now that our runners have picked up their missile packs and their morphing balls, I'd like to take this time to remind you that these Swiss rounds, the 6 Swiss rounds of the Super Metroid Multi-Category Tournament 2020, are to establish a top 16 for a playoff bracket. And in that playoff bracket, placing in the top 8 will guarantee you a cash prize. And those cash prizes are generously donated, or I should say generously provided by the sponsors of the Super Metroid Multi-Category Tournament, Mega Cat Studios and Bowles Guarana. Now both of our runners making their climbs now. Derp going with right side wall climbs, Cynan opting to use ledge grabs. Very, very smooth, very clean movement from both runners so far as they make their way back up into the parlor. They'll be heading to the first mini-boss of the game, Bomb Chorizo, not to be confused with chorizo, which is a type of spicy sausage. I could understand the mistake, between a biomechanical bird statue and a spicy sausage. It's very easy to make that mistake. But that's right, they've reached Bomb Chorizo. They now have to do battle. On the NTSC version of Super Metroid, the BT skip is impossible without 60 hertz at 60 cycles per second arm pumping. So instead of arm pumping, they'll just have to fight BT. Derp opening up with some missiles and some pea shooter shots. Both runners with excellent health, guaranteeing the missile drops from BT. Derp finishing off BT without the decapitation animation, Cynan right behind him, getting plenty of missile drops and also finishing off BT with no decapitation animation. Derp making his way up into Parlor again, looking for the Alcatraz escape. Oh, took a little bit of a stumble. This might be a good opportunity for Cynan to make up a few frames, a few seconds. Perfect execution from Cynan as Derp heads into Terminator. Cynan right behind, just a door transition behind now. Cynan less than an item fanfare behind as Derp heads through the pirates, taking damage using his iframes to bypass the next pirate. No sense in utilizing those missiles because they're going to need them for the next room. And by next room, I mean the next few rooms as they reach Green Brinstar. Another good elevator from Derp. Love to see clean elevator movement by these runners. Both runners, Cynan and Derp, with excellent elevators. And I see out of the corner of my eye there's a cane coming to pull me off stage if I mention the word elevator once again. But Derp with a really nice early supers mock ball. Let's see Cynan go for it. Well executed as well. First time go for both these runners as they get their early supers. The early supers allowing them to bypass the intended route, which would be going up to Big Pink and fighting Spore Spawn. Although this is any percent all bosses, the order of the boss fights is not stipulated with the exception of Bomb Chorizo. So most runners opting to finish off Spore Spawn for last, having completely strapped up their beam combo and able to one-shot Spore Spawn, not only in a very quick fashion, but also somewhat humorously. Derp the first to grab the so-called charge missiles because they're located right by the charge beam. Cynan just right behind him. Only a few seconds separate these runners early here. Derp picking up the charge beam now. Cynan following suit. Charge beam is a crucial item for most categories in Super Metroid, except for low percent chargeless. I leave it as an exercise to the viewer why that is. Derp now into Green Hill Zone, using a very nice mock ball to make it down. And a nice little pseudo screw slash charge beam shot and a damage boost. Very clean movement. Another damage boost from Cynan as he destroys a side hopper. Very nicely done. Great rooms. Both runners crossing New Bridge now. Looks like Derp's heading down. He'll be heading to Kraid, presumably. Cynan also heading down, so no route divergence yet. In the earlier race today, we did have some route divergence. We had an early Fantoon, early wreck ship, I should say. Well, I guess that includes Fantoon. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other hockey. It's the same thing. But Cynan now, Cynan gets grabbed by the Samus grabber, but manages to grab a handy super missile drop from that cack attack. Derp with some very nice strats. A beautiful jump across that gap to make it into Kraid's lair. Cynan going with a little bit more traditional strat. Instead of using 3 supers, using 1 and simply morphing underneath. Derp looking clean through party zone there. Cynan's into Kraid's warehouse now. Derp about to destroy Mini Kraid, pick up all those wonderful super drops. And he'll be heading straight into Kraid and setting up for the KQK, the Kraid quick kill. Cynan follows suit, grabs those supers, full ammunition, at least for supers. Derp's in morph ball form to cut down on lag as Kraid rises from the bottom of the screen. Cynan uses a little morph ball bounce there, a little bomb jump to set up his placement. Derp with a beautiful Kraid quick kill, well executed. Gonna go grab the Varia suit. Cynan set up for the missile Kraid quick kill. Lands all 5 shots. Excellent work from Cynan. A great textbook Kraid quick kill. Both of our runners collecting the Varia suit. 50% damage reduction now, as well as protection from superheated rooms like in Norfair. And just a beautiful burnt orange paint job. Just a very popular color in the mid to late 90s into the early 2000s. Derp with another very clean room through party zone. We'll see if he goes with the... yes, he's picking up the janitor's closet E-tank. The janitor's closet of the Kraid warehouse. We'll see if Cynan elects to skip it. No, he's also picking up that E-tank. So both of our runners very close, very tight race so far. Derp getting the lucky audio glitch on the door opening there. Frame perfect, I'm told. Cynan heading up and leaving Kraid's warehouse. Meanwhile, Derp heading down into Norfair, into Business Center, where he'll start doing his Norfair cleanup. You see, it makes sense. You visit the janitor's closet before doing your Norfair cleanup because all the cleaning supply... Okay, I'll stop. I don't know why it's called the janitor's closet, but we came up with it last year and it just kind of stuck. So Derp's in to grab those high jump boots. He's going to strap on those fresh kicks and be able to utilize their ability to allow him to jump even higher than before. But I feel like it also gives Samus a much faster jump. She just kind of springs off into the air very quickly. Derp picking up more ammunition, having unlocked the door by destroying the Sova when he first entered the room. Cynan doing the same. But Derp's going to be headed to Bubble Mountain to collect even more major items. Cynan heading up through Business Center. Meanwhile, Derp is into Cathedral, utilizing that pseudo screw attack to just blast through that Sova. And a little mid-air morph down, tracking along the ground into Rising Tide. Derp the first to reach Bubble Mountain, destroying that Zoomer, or I should say, Waver. And summiting Bubble Mountain, no problems at all. Cynan making it to Bubble Mountain as well. Lining up his jump using a pseudo screw so he can just blast through that cack attack. And it looks like Derp will be the first one to pick up the speed booster. Now, I'm told, I cannot confirm, but it says here in my notes that the speed booster item that Samus picks up is capable of boosting her movement speed. But in addition to that amazing technology, it can also allow her to harness and store a substance called fast, and to unleash all of that fast at one time in a movement technique called the Shine Spark. So I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of shine sparking and speed boosting for the rest of this any percent all bosses race. Derp heading to double chamber, Cynan with a quick farm leaving speed booster. Double chamber can be a little bit tricky. I was just about to say, it's so easy to fall through those platforms right as TGDerp falls through it. Commentator curse, it was a a preemptive commentator curse. It was a premonition, perhaps. But Derp heading up and grabbing wave beam, Cynan having no problems whatsoever, no sweat getting across those platforms. So we might have a little high five here in double chamber as Cynan makes a big leap and crosses the gap to get his wave beam. But even though it's Sunday night, Derp look making it easy like Sunday morning, leaving double chamber. Just a big leap at the end there. Same from Cynan with a tidy wall jump off of that little abutment there, that little platform. Now that our runners have picked up the speed booster, they now have a method for crossing the moat and the ocean to get to Rex ship. So if they're routing, according to what I think they're routing, we will see them head back upstairs to Brinstar on their way to Rex ship. Derp using those ledge grabs to great effect through Business Center, up the elevator to Brinstar. Cynan blasting through the blocks and the frogs of the Frogway with that new speed booster. And just short, about an elevator cutscene behind. So still a very tight race here pretty early. Saw Derp stutter step there. I thought he was going to set up for Alpha Spark, but elects not to. That's all right. I won't hold it against him. Nothing personal, Derp. But Cynan might go for Alpha Spark here. He certainly can store the fast. He's got the stored fast. The Shine Spark is activated. A big leap across. Oh, but he unleashes the fast directly into the ceiling, but a great attempt from Cynan. Now our runners have to climb up the red tower. Beautiful job from Derp. The hero shot, a couple of very tight wall jumps there. And a nice swiggity swaggy D-boost. Got a pair of D-boosts across the hellway as he heads down to get the alpha power bombs. And Derp has picked up the alpha power bombs. This commentator has refreshed his stream because he was falling woefully behind. And another high five here in the top of Red Tower as Cynan picks up his alpha power bombs. Good wall jump from Cynan there to exit Alpha PBs. Meanwhile, Derp riding the elevator back to the surface of Criteria. The surface of Zebus, which is called Criteria. Cynan unlocking that power bomb door. Derp doing the same. Always a good decision now that you've got those power bombs to lay them. Unlocking all those doors you won't have to later on. And now we'll see Derp set up to cross the moat with a short charge into a Shine Spark. Derp with another stored fast unleashment as he crosses the ocean heading into Rex ship. Cynan, meanwhile, also going to utilize a short charge here. But Derp's heading into the Rex ship to do battle with Fantoon. Cynan's got the stored fast. He's ready to unleash. Going with the Ocean Fly, but can't quite get the door open fast enough. He'll have to settle for the Ocean Spark here. Very nice short charge from Cynan, but a beautiful speedball from TGDerp to get under that one tile gap and that block. Brick block, whatever you want to call it. So Derp, the first one in against Fantoon. We'll see what sort of patterns Fantoon brings. Derp setting up that X Factor, going for it. I think he got most of the particles to connect. Cynan with also with a speedball of his own to get through that one tile gap. Really nice movement. Both our runners in against Fantoon. Now we got double the Fantoon fighting, double the action. Derp went for a missile Dopplers there. Couldn't quite get all of them to connect. So have to sit through another pattern. Cynan starting off against Fantoon here. Derp continuing his assault, finishing off Fantoon with a super, very nice fight from Derp. Cynan with the slow pattern, unfortunately, but landing his missiles. Selecting PBs, going for that X Factor. Gets all 4 particles. Really nice opening round from Cynan. And it looks like Fantoon with a mid. Finishing off Fantoon, no sweat. Very nice fight from Cynan. Derp with the super missile pickup, a very conveniently located item in this wrecked ship, but Cynan definitely with that Fantoon fight looking to close the gap, looking to catch up to Derp. Things are definitely heating up here on a Sunday night in the Super Metroid Multi-Category Tournament 2020. Derp setting up for the Attic Spark, going across. Oh, I think he did get all the enemies, unlocking the door. Very nice movement from Derp. And Cynan heading up to Attic. We'll see what the Attic has in store for him. Not just old clothes and old photo albums, I hope, but chock-a-block full of enemies that have to be dispatched before he can continue. Cynan utilizing the speed booster to crash through some of those enemies, finishing off that Key Hunter with some supers. Meanwhile, Derp heading in. Derp cutting it a little bit close there, finishing off Bowling with 20 HP. He's got to be careful not to hit the Ripper or the Fish when he exits Wrecked Ship. But he gets a nice little Bowling cutscene to relax a little bit. Cynan, on the other hand, with much more energy, making it across no sweat. So Derp, the first one to get to the gravity suit, upgrading his swag by 75% as well as his damage reduction. Derp manages to avoid the Ripper and the Fish as he makes it back to Criteria over the moat. Cynan picking up his gravity suit now. Almost KO'd through it. Very, very close, but a good save by Cynan. Derp with a quick farm of the crabs, and he's back to Brinstar. A mighty leap by Cynan and opens the door very tidily. Great movement from Cynan here. Derp's back into Red Tower heading downstairs. He will eventually make his way to Meridia. First, he's got a damage boost, farm up a little bit in the Hellway. So definitely still a close race here. Could come down to Batwoon fight, Dragon fight. A lot of variables still at play here. But Meridia is a pretty lengthy segment. Our runners have 2 bosses, 1 mini boss, 1 big boss to take care of, and a couple item pickups, at least 1. The plasma beam is always a great pickup to have. Cynan showing off that moonfall and that midair morph to maneuver around the platforms. Really nice stuff. Very impressive movement so far from both of these runners. Derp has reached Meridia into the murky, watery depths. He will go climbing up using some wall jumps, a quick farm, and he'll be climbing Mount Everest. Cynan also into Meridia. He's blown open that Meridia tube with a power bomb. Derp going for the Everest Spark. Well executed. Derp's heading into Aqueduct now. Right outside of Batwoon. Just a couple of wall jumps. Pretty standard stuff. And Cynan also with an Everest Spark. Well executed. Derp setting up against Batwoon here. Going with the standard setup. Landing all 4 particles, now switching to supers. Just blasting Batwoon with those supers. Finishes off with the 1 cycle. A very nice fight from Derp. Cynan now into Batwoon. Also setting up for an X Factor. Landing all 4 particles. Delivering the supers. And also 1 cycling Batwoon. A terrific fight from Cynan. Both these runners 1 cycling Batwoon. Very impressive stuff. Looks like Derp setting up for full halfie here. He's got the stored fast. He's got the door open. He's through the door. Oh, he just sputters out a little bit. Here comes Cynan charging ahead, also setting up for full halfie. He's got the stored fast. He's got the tight wall jumps. He's through the door. This could be it, folks. Oh, but it also sputters out at the last second. Oh, such tough luck for Cynan. He's going to have to wall jump across these walls. Derp, meanwhile, is across the Coliseum into Dragon. Derp setting up against Dragon. He sparring back and forth against Dragon. He's setting up. He's got power bomb selected, so he's going to open with the 1-2 punch, the 1-2 combo of an X Factor with a Shine Spark. Dragon is the only boss that takes damage from Shine Sparks. Derp lands everything he throws at Dragon so far. Cynan also setting up in a similar fashion. Derp going and destroying Dragon with 2 sparks in 1 cycle. Very impressive fight from Derp. Cynan, though's got the setup, then the X Factor. Derp's got a blue suit, not upgrading to a spike suit. Cynan delivering some missile ammunition. And Derp picks up his space jump. Cynan looking for another Shine Spark against a gooping Dragon. Now looking for yet another Spark. Goes straight up at her. I think he dealt some damage there. And Cynan finishes off Dragon during a swoop pattern with a Spark. Pinpoint precision from Cynan and goes for the spike suit. Very impressive from both of these runners. Derp with the reverse full halfie thanks to that blue suit. And Cynan picking up his space jump. Those things are heating up. We've taken the temperature to high heat. We're gonna boil over here, folks. This is a very exciting race. Both our runners just pouring it on. All the movement technique, all the strats, all the techniques. I love it. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. Because if you're not, well, that's your problem. There's nothing I can do for you. Derp up into the pancake room, a deceptively challenging room here. But he makes it look so easy. Cynan through Cack Attack Alley, doing a quick farm up of his supers thanks to the high drop rate of those Cack Attacks. Derp, though, picking up the Plasma Beam, softening up those pink pirates with a power bomb. My goodness, so much alliteration, I think my head is going to explode. Derp delivering the damage. This commentator continuing with the alliterative phrases, and Derp's through. He's destroyed all the pirates and unlocked the door. Big room himself, he'll grab Plasma Beam after destroying those pink pirates. And here we have yet another high five in the pancake room. Derp, though, is going to pay the hefty cost to use the toilet. One super missile is the asking price as he heads all the way back down towards the entrance to Meridia, back into Brinstar. Cynan dispatching those pink plasma guarding pirates with his newly found Plasma Beam ability, dealing the damage, unlocking that door. Meanwhile, Derp is going to be heading down to Norfair for what I think is one of the more, how do I put this? One of the more, I don't want to say interesting, because almost everything in this any percent all bosses category is interesting. It's all the fun movement technique of whatever route of any percent that you run, plus you get to fight additional bosses and use weapons that were never intended to be used against them, which is very interesting. But the Norfair segment, I think, is a great showpiece of not only routing, but also movement technique. You'll see Derp now head to get Ice Beam, and once he's collected Ice Beam, he will bomb the floor and head down the Croc Speedway straight to Crocomire, and then immediately leave Croc and head to Lower Norfair. I just think it's such an interesting series of rooms that are also connected. So Derp with the Ice Beam is heading down into the Croc Speedway, as I mentioned. Cynan right behind him going to collect his Ice Beam. Really nice speedball by Cynan there, entering ice. But Derp blowing through those pirates and those blocks with that boosted speed, courtesy of the speed booster. A quick super to the door, and he's down. And to face Crocomire, this time it's personal. And he's got the Plasma Beam, which just absolutely destroys and devastates poor Crocomire. Derp working it and twerking it as he taunts poor Crocomire as he falls into the acid. But Cynan now heading towards the Croc Speedway, bombing the floor after collecting his Ice Beam. Now Cynan heading in to face Crocomire. Meanwhile, Derp finishing off Croc. Just a harmless giant skeleton collapsing to the floor. So he'll exit and head straight to Lower Norfair. His energy is looking terrific. No need to refill at the Nutella refill. Cynan showing off that moonwalk technique, just stunting on poor Crocomire after delivering that charged plasma shot and sending poor Crocomire to a watery, acidic grave. Derp showing off the swag. I believe that is a chronic boost. Very, very good stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. If there's multiple ways to do damage boost into the lower Norfair entrance, let me know. But I was under the impression that it was called a chronic boost. Now, Derp's got 4 supers. We'll see if he elects to utilize a green gate glitch. He's heading right, so he must be. I hear tell that it's about 10 seconds faster than going the long way around. If you can execute the green gate glitch, a finicky trick, as Sloters27 put it. First try for Derp, so much for finicky. So much for it. Cynan, though, is entering lower Norfair now as Derp makes his way down past Screw Attack into GT. Cynan also setting up and getting the chronic boost. Just an amazing show of movement technique from these runners. Derp's going to use his foot placement here, his Samus placement, to pin Golden Chorizo in place. Again, that's not chorizo, that's Torizo. A biomechanical bird statue that's guarding a pretty prize, that being the Screw Attack. A great pickup for Derp, or anyone who plays this game. And Cynan also like to go with Green Gate Glitch. Routing here. He's got Super Select. He's got 6 tries. First try for the show from these runners. Cynan just saying, I'm going to get it first try, rolling in, brimming with confidence, and nails it. Derp, though, into worst room in the game, which simply becomes a room in the game with Screw Attack and Space Jump. He's able to buzzsaw right through those pirates and right through that ceiling. No need for power bombs. Derp maintaining his Space Jump rhythm into Amphitheater. Meanwhile, Cynan getting the color change on Golden Chorizo. You know he's taking a lot of damage. Delivering the damage and finishing off Golden Chorizo is Cynan. We'll see if he grabs Screw Attack. Why not? It's right there. Derp really sending a message to those key hunters, destroying all of them. And of course, Cynan picking up Screw Attack. Derp's into Wasteland now. Cynan with a nice spark into the ceiling outside GT. Derp's got to be careful for these Disgigas, but with Screw Attack, both these runners will probably be showing no fear to those Disgigas. Cynan going to show off that Screw Attack. A nice KO by Derp at the bottom there. The bottom of Wasteland, now heading in against the Metal Pirates. The Metal Pirates are a lesson to you folks. Never, ever bring Kung Fu fighting to a charged plasma beam fight. Don't do it. It will not end well. Cynan into Amphitheater now, using that Space Jump. But Derp's already to Ridley, destroying the Ghidorah. And facing off against that dastardly leader, that Space Pelican. That dastardly leader of the Space Pirates. Derp taking the skies, taking the fight directly to Ridley. Point blank range delivery of those charge shots. Meanwhile, Cynan laying a power bomb and heading down to Wasteland. Derp showing absolutely no fear in the face of almost certain death at the hands of this Pelican. No, I'm just kidding. Derp's having a fantastic Ridley fight. Ridley's already changing colors. Pogoing doesn't matter, not when you've got charged plasma beam shots on tap like Derp does. Now Cynan in against the Metal Pirates. Once again, don't bring jump kicks to a charged plasma fight. And a beautiful fight from Derp. Ridley exploding after picking him up. Very, very clean. Very good fight. But Cynan not far behind as he enters Ridley. Derp, meanwhile, beginning his lower Norfair escape, exiting Ridley's lair. Cynan's already opening up with those charged plasma shots, dealing the damage. With a tidy morph ball escape underneath a pogoing Ridley. Meanwhile, Derp heading back up Wasteland. Cynan taken to the skies against this charging, pogoing Ridley. Already got the color change, one of several. Derp really sending a message to those Tuskegans, just using that screw attack to blast right through him. Cynan getting picked up. I think he thought that might have been it. But that is it. Very, very nice fight from Cynan as Ridley the Space Pelican explodes for the second time tonight. So both our runners now making their lower Norfair escapes. Derp's into Firefly, heading past those boulders. Cynan with a really swaggy D-boost off that, whatever those ball-shaped enemies are called. Someone in chat will know. I know they'll tell me. Wait, don't tell me. No, do tell me. I want to know. Derp heading in against the three Musketeers, as they're called, the three Key Hunters guarding the exit of Lower Norfair, but with Screw Attack and Space Jump, not a problem for Derp. So Derp, the first one out of Lower Norfair. Cynan not far behind, making it through Wasteland. Our runners still have one more mini-boss to fight before they reach the G4 statue room. Ah, yes, the Viola. Thank you, War Drinker in chat. I appreciate it. A damage boost from Cynan off of the Viola. But that was probably a whole minute ago, so an ancient history in terms of speedrun. In terms of speed running, I should say. Derp's leaving Norfair for the last time. Cynan, though, almost completing his Lower Norfair escape, just getting past the fire of those demon statues. And he's all the way through. Derp's into Red Tower now, back into Red Brinstar. Cynan at Bubble Mountain. Hopefully I'm not dating myself. Hopefully the stream is caught up thanks to some appropriate refreshes from this commentator. Derp heading back up Green Hill Zone, Cynan into Business Center for the last time, and up the elevator back to Brinstar. But Derp, the first to reach back to Big Pink, he'll be heading all the way to the top to do battle with Spore Spawn. Nintendo's DLC for this game. Yours for the low, low price of free. Looks like Derp's the first one in against Spore Spawn. Cynan, though, climbing the Red Tower, heading back to Green Hill. And although the bot commands aren't working, I'd like to remind you all out there in viewerland, please give these runners a follow. Twitch.tv/TGDerp and Twitch.tv/Cynan MACHAE. I don't really know how to say that. If I had to guess, it would be like Mache, but that's just a guess. Cynan, MACHAE, and TGDerp are their respective handles. So another little high five here at Big Pink. Derp exiting, heading back to Green Brinstar Shaft. Cynan, though, climbing all the way to the top to do battle with Spore Spawn. Another little interesting routing decision here. Saving Spore Spawn for last, not only do you get to one-shot him, but he's awfully close to the Green Brinstar Shaft, which deposits the runner right outside of G4. So just a really clever routing to this any percent all bosses category. Really a big fan. And Cynan gets the one shot, destroys Spospo, a quick super to the door, and he's out. Meanwhile, Derp's already to G4, having defeated all of the bosses and mini bosses. My apologies for the continual interruptions, having some connectivity problems, but that's all right. It's going to take more than that to slow down the hockey towner and our runners here, TGDerp and Cynan, who've put on a terrific race for us so far. Derp the first to make it down to Torian, but Cynan not far behind. He's got to sit through the G4 statue cutscene. But we'll see how Derp fares against this Metroid infestation. His ammo's at 20 and 5, so he's definitely looking to get some super drops. Metroid's pretty stingy through the first room, only giving him maybe 2 supers. We'll see if some grouping strats will be beneficial in the second Metroid room. Still only 1 drop. Oh. Cynan taking off screw attack as he goes down the elevator. Derp into the final Metroid room, only destroying 2 of them. He's looking for more drops, just really stingy from these Metroids. Cynan's made it to Tor, and he's going to start doing battle with these Metroids. And Derp finishing with 20 and 8. I think that'll be enough, but still very close. Derp going to be setting up for the baby skip. We'll see him execute it. Cynan with perfect ammo heading into Metroid Room 3. Little grouping strat here from Cynan to finish off the Metroids in Metroid Room 4. Meanwhile, TGDerp's got the jump rope. He's clearing away that moss. Oh, but he just gets snatched at the very last second. Great attempt from TGDerp. This could be Cynan's chance to catch up here if he gets baby skip. Cynan looking like he's going to be setting up for it. Derp opening a single door, as War Drinker in chat pointed out. He'll refill both energy and missiles. Cynan going with the jump rope, clearing away the moss. He's just a few jumps away from this baby skip, and he's got it. No refill required. Oh my goodness, this race just got a lot closer, folks. Our runners are heading into Mother Brain almost simultaneously. Derp through the Ghidorah, Cynan through the Ghidorah. And I believe Derp's got screw attack already turned off. No safeties from these runners. Looking for some Zebetite skips now. And Cynan with a tiny lead now. Got through on the first try with that Zeb skip. Derp just slowly behind, or shortly behind him, I should say. Nothing slow about Derp in this race. And now both runners dealing the damage. Cynan finishing off Mother Brain 1 first. Derp only seconds behind him. I think maybe 2 seconds. Maybe 2 seconds here. Both runners opening up with plasma beams to Mother Brain's face. It's going to come straight down to execution here, I think. Derp shrugging off some of those onion rings. Looks like Cynan's into the catch-up phase. Both runners barely avoiding the catch-ups. Very, very nice movement from both runners. Another catch-up for Cynan. It looks like Derp's through first. So Derp has retaken the lead. But it's only a few seconds. Both runners heading into the baby cutscene here, getting rainbow beamed to a near death. But that's all right. They're going to be saved by the baby Metroid. We said that the pot was going to boil over. We said the heat had been set to high. Well, now it's set to thermonuclear. We have less than a 5-second difference in this race between these two amazing runners. If you like what you've seen here, folks, be sure to give these runners a follow. They have given us an absolutely spectacular and tremendous race tonight. Both runners receiving health refills from the baby Metroid as Mother Brain comes back to life after seemingly having all the life sucked out of her by that baby Metroid. All right, we'll be looking very closely at the baby kill times here. Looks like 50-13 and some change. 50-18 and some change for Cynan, so only 5 seconds difference. Comes down to execution. Mother Brain 3 as Derp opens up with hyper beam shots to Mother Brain's face. 36 shots for these runners have to be landed against Mother Brain's face. Snapping that head back like an uppercut straight from the floor, driving up into her brain. Both runners with great rhythm, but Derp finishing off Mother Brain. Cynan finishing off Mother Brain as well. These runners are almost in a dead heat here. Cynan picking up a second on Derp. I think it's only 4 seconds between them. And our runners will begin their escape, heading through the gates, blasting them away down into the door. We'll be looking for a little spark action here, unleashing that fast. Excellent job from Derp and Cynan during their escapes. And a moonfall from Cynan. Derp without the moonfall. This is practically a dead heat. Absolutely sensational. Both runners setting up to spark up the climb. And they both do so almost simultaneously. Both of them up into parlor. Just comes down to execution. Comes down to wall jumps and steam RNG. Derp with a nice midair morph. Cynan through the door. Derp through the door first. It's so close, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone in the audience. Derp finishes in first place. Oh my goodness, this is sensational. My goodness, the sync. I don't believe it. Oh my goodness, that was a photo finish. Let's get the official result from the SRL time. Oh my goodness, what a prime time race. Been waiting all week for this one, and they did not disappoint. GG's to TGDerp and Cynan. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely sensational. Let's see if they'll join us for an interview. Wow, I'm still coming down from that one. I hope you all are too. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you. GG's to both runners for giving us such a fantastic race. Yes, I believe that those were PBs for both runners. Derp entered in the tournament with a 52:43. He finished with an official SRL time of 52:17, whereas Cynan had a 53:52, so he shaved off over a minute and a half. Welcoming in tonight's winner, TGDerp. GG's, that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I guess. Oh my god. I don't want to talk about the end of that race. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, let's talk about the beginning and the middle then. Derp, walk us through it.
I mean, it went all right. I picked up Crate Tank for the safety. Nothing too interesting. Just I usually pick up a lot of safeties in races just because I don't want to die. And then other than that, it went really well. I was only a few seconds behind splits at Dragon. It was a really clean Dragon fight too. And then things really started to go south at Ridley. Like, that Ridley fight was pretty rough. And then I guess you saw how Turian went. But early game went well, so I'm not too upset. And I technically PB'd by like 10 seconds. So that's cool, I guess.
Well, I think you're being a great sport, Derp. You gave us a great race. Really impressive movement throughout. There were definitely a couple opportunities where Cynan looked like he was going to catch up or actually take the lead, and it wasn't until the Zebetite skip that he did. But then I think your execution was just a little bit better during Mother Brain 2, and that's how you were able to retake the lead and ride it out till the end of the race.
So I actually started like kind of watching the stream on and off in Turian. I kept going from not wanting to watch it to put extra pressure on myself and going back to watch it to see where Cynan was. I think what actually happened was he kind of got screwed over by Mother Brain's pattern. Like, I got a pattern that ended right after the catch up, and Mother Brain for Cynan did an attack like basically while she was dead, so he lost a few seconds there, which is really rough for him.
Oh, for sure. To make such a furious comeback, I think he was never very far behind you, Derp, but he was, I think, at least a room or like maybe two screens, maybe 2 door transitions behind you at some points, but really mounting a furious comeback, especially late.
Yeah, definitely not my best performance, but I guess I'll take it.
No, absolutely. Congrats on the W. Heading into round 3. Have you picked up the two W's, or is it split, Derp?
Yeah, I'm currently 2-0. We'll see how it goes next week, because I'm definitely going to be playing up. So I'm going to have a much tougher time. But, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Absolutely. I'd like to welcome in tonight's runner-up, Cynan. Thank you so much, and GG's. That was a tremendous race.
Yeah, thanks. I think that was a pretty close race.
I'll say it was extremely close, and congratulations on the PB. Definitely improving your any percent all bosses time by a significant margin. I think over a minute and a half.
Yeah. I didn't make any runs, a lot of runs before, but I think that's a pretty good run for me.
It was definitely a terrific run. I was talking to Derp before you before you were able to join us. I don't think you were ever far behind Derp. Like, he didn't just leave you in the dust, but like to mount such a comeback, to get baby skip, to get a lot of different things, and like it was very exciting to watch, and it was as a runner, it must have been pretty satisfying.
Yeah, I think my run starting from gravity to the end was pretty good for me. I wish I had a better beginning, but that happened. It was good.
So we're heading into round 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cynan.
Yeah, I think I had a pretty bad Mother Brain 2 and Go Torizo, but the late game was really good.
Absolutely. Looked fantastic on our end. So I was going to ask you both about next week, heading into round 3. The categories are going to be any percent, reverse boss order, and triple bingo. So definitely getting a little shaken up. RBO is new for this round. So what sort of predictions, what sort of feelings do you have about the round 3 categories?
I think we're going to see a lot of any percent.
Yeah.
Definitely a bold prediction from Derp. I think a lot of people are going to. I have a prediction that's a little bit different. I think that you're going to see a lot of triple bingo next week because RBO is absolutely punishing, and any percent. There's a lot of people that just plain old don't like any percent, which more power to them. They like what they like, but it's going to be very interesting as the way the rest of this tournament unfolds.
Yeah, I think if the two racers are pretty close in skill, we might see a few triple bingo or even RBO.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do more triple bingo, but looking at the new matches, apparently the matches for next week are released, it doesn't look like I'm going to get to do triple bingo. But, got my fingers crossed, let's say that.
Absolutely. We wish you both the best of luck in the next round and for the rest of the tournament. All right, you have any close marks?
Heck, Metroids.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, those Metroids and those stupid drops. Definitely trolly. Cynan, any closing remarks? Any last words?
Well, thanks for commentary. I'm pretty sure it was awesome, like every time you commentate, so thanks. I'm gonna watch that after.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you both for giving us a tremendous race, and we look forward to seeing you in action in the rounds to come. So GG's to both of you, and both of you congrats on the personal bests.
Thanks.
And with that, folks, we got another one finished in the bag. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's race. There's plenty more Super Metroid Multi-Category Tournament 2020 action heading your way as we go into the third round of the Swiss round. 6 Swiss rounds for the establishment of a top 16 playoff. And so on behalf of the tournament organizers and all the SpeedGaming staff and volunteers, this is the Hockey Towner, reminding you to follow the runners and stay tuned for plenty more action coming your way to a SpeedGaming channel near you.